Hello and welcome to another edition of For the Record. I'm Sean Murphy. My guest today loves animals, so therefore I love him. He's a pet lover. His name is Jim LeBlanc. That is the correct way to say his last name. He invented an app. He created an app. It's called PetVet24, the animal hospital locator. It's his first time on the show. Jim, welcome to the show.
Hey, great to be here. Thank you very much for having me on the show.
You're a pet lover.
Sure am. Love pets.
What do you have right now for pets?
I have cats, dogs, horses. We have a llama. I have a turtle.
Who has a llama? Who has a llama?
We have a llama.
Michael Jackson and you know.
Michael Jackson. Does he have a llama?
Oh, well, he had everything back in the day. So let's go all the way back in time. I'll just say again, you created an app. It's called PetVet24. But let's go back in time to the beginning where you decided, you were in need of something. Let's talk about that.
Okay, well, I was walking my dog at Haley Woods, where I take her a couple times.
And that's in Groton, Connecticut.
Groton, Connecticut, along the shore. It's a wonderful reserve.
So it's right near the Bluff Point, right?
Bluff Point, on the other side of Bluff Point, yeah. And just taking the dog for a walk, and I met an older man there who was with his dog, and we started conversing, struck up a conversation. He's a very nice man. And he talked about the fact that he had just lost his wife of 38 years, and things were kind of lonely, but he said his dog, and he showed me his dog, was keeping him company. It was his only real escape from loneliness. And all of a sudden, something just hit me. I don't know if it was a premonition or divine intervention, but
lightning hit you.
Lightning hit me, or something like that, or maybe a branch hit me. I wasn't watching. It was a windy day.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I said, "Gee, what would he do if something suddenly happened to his dog right now?" And I said,
the woods, walking in the woods.
Right. I said, "Where would he go? What would he do?" And I noticed he had a smartphone, because he did talk about his smartphone, how he was, using it to talk to his kids now, because they were in other states.
Right.
And he had to learn how to use it.
You can be out in the wilderness, away from technology, yet still have it in your pocket or have it with you if you need it. Yeah.
Exactly. That signal is following you everywhere.
Right.
And so I thought smartphone, and then I thought, gee, I wonder if there's an app, a mobile app, that you can purchase on the market that would give you the closest open, vet hospital. So I contacted my computer friend, who is the genius, because I know nothing. And
you're the concept man, but he's the
idea
technical
man,
guy.
That's right. So, I called him and I asked him about it, and he said, let me get back to you. And he searched the internet, and he called me back, and he says, well, basically, most people are just going to do a Google search. He said, but there is no app out there. There's no app on the market that actually gives you the closest open facility. Nothing at all. And he said, now people can do a Google search. He said, but Google is not reliable.
And not only that, when you're out in the woods and something's going on with your dog, for example, how much time will that take to get on your phone and do a Google search and try to find the place? That takes too much time.
Yeah, it is because you have to scroll, and then what do you put in? Emergency vet, 24-hour vet. My dog is throwing up vet. I mean, what do you put in there? And it takes time, and you're nervous, and you're freaking out.
And you're going to have to scroll. Once you do get results, well, is that right? And it takes you to something else. And,
right. I can tell you a true story. I had a woman that I talked to on the phone who was, I was talking about the app. And she said, that's a wonderful idea. My husband and I were just talking about what would we do at 11 o'clock at night if something happened to our little dog here? Where would we go? And she said, where is this app? I said, it's on Apple Store and it's on Google Store. So she said, let me go get it. So she touched her phone and she said, I'm ordering it now. And I said, do me a favor. I said, let's pretend right now that your dog is having an emergency. Let's do a Google search and see what you come up with. So she said, okay. So she's doing a Google search while the app is downloading. Mm-hmm. She says, well, I can tell you right now, this is taking me a little time.
And by the way, it only takes a moment for the app to download.
Right. The app only takes 5 or 6 seconds, and there it is. You're good to go. You got the website, the phone, directions, you're on your way.
Meanwhile, she's still searching, trying to find, what'd she type in?
She typed in emergency vet.
Okay.
And she said, okay, I have a vet in Canton, Connecticut. And she said, and I said, how far is it? She said, 46.5 miles. I said, okay, now open my app. She opened the app. She goes, oh, my goodness, it only took 5 seconds. She says, there's a place 2 miles away. She says, I would have had to drive 46 miles in traffic with an animal that needed immediate medical help that could have possibly died when your app PetVet24 would have sent me right over to 2 miles away.
So, and that's a thing that's important to note about this is it doesn't. There are emergency pet facilities that are open 24 hours when you really are in need. But when you use this app, if it's in the middle of the day, you don't necessarily need to go to that emergency place. There may be regular veterinary facilities that are much closer because it's during regular business hours.
Exactly. We put three categories of veterinary hospitals into the app. The first level is 24-hour, of course. Then we have what we call after-hour facilities, which are open at 5 in the afternoon and stay open until 8 in the morning, and they're usually open weekends. But then we went and scanned daytime vets. You know, what happens at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? We don't want to send you 40 miles to the 24-hour place.
Which is probably going to be more expensive.
More
Not
expensive.
That money matters, you know, if you're your loving dog or cat or whatever. But at the same time, why spend it if you don't have to when there's a local vet that might be in your town that's available, right?
Exactly, and that's exactly what we've done. So we've had to scan and look for vets during the day, and we had to check their websites to see if they take walk-in emergencies. So any vet who wants to go on our app can apply through our website. Just give us your name, address, and say you want to be on the app. We'll check you out, check your reviews, do a little bit of basic research.
You vet them, basically.
We have to vet, yeah.
Since we're in political season, we use the vetting term there, you know.
Vetting's the word.
So, you know what's interesting is your timing is perfect on this because you're in the woods and you have this epiphany, but you have it at a time in our history when apps and smartphones are, because if you know, 10 years ago, if you had this, what are you going to do? Your idea would be to print a newspaper and hopefully the listing is in there or something, right?
Exactly, yeah. So I wanted to take advantage of the technology, and I began to realize that this technology is everywhere and it's growing, and I said, what can I do? What kind of, everybody's looking for the $1 million idea. I don't know if this is the $1 million idea, but I know it's a good idea for pets.
But also, I always find that the people that are the most passionate about their projects are the ones who have a vested interest. And you had just mentioned all the animals, even right now in your home, you know.
Sure.
So you've got loved ones, including your Labrador Retriever, Michelle, right?
Right,
Yeah.
Michelle. She's wonderful. She was a rescue.
Right.
She's a rescue, and she loves the woods. She loves the water, and she loves to eat.
But all those
Like
things
me.
that you just mentioned could be potential hazards for her, and if something should happen, if she's in the water or in the woods, what do you do?
Exactly.
You
There's
know?
so many, and I've had so many people tell me so many strange things about animals, you know, getting hit by cars when they're on a trip. I had 2 people that were not pet owners who said non-pet owners should get this app because we hit a dog in Maine. And he was rolling on the ground, and we didn't know where to take him.
Now I understand non-pet owners can help and save the life of a pet too.
Absolutely, absolutely. One of my best friends' girlfriend came in from Texas with with a Labrador Retriever. 11 o'clock at night, the dog started rolling around on the living room floor. They grabbed the phone, tried to do the Google search. It took 5 minutes to find a place. They brought the pet, and the vet said, 5 more minutes later, and this dog would have been dead. They had to rush it in for emergency surgery.
They just got it in.
She said, if I had your app, I could have gone like that, and we would have been on our way.
Now, you have admitted to me, because we did a radio interview recently, you're not the most technically gifted individual ever, right?
Without a doubt. So I made sure this app was simple, simple, simple.
Right, and that's perfect, yeah.
We used the KISS method. You know, keep it simple, stupid. You know, and I had to battle with the tech people because the tech people,
they want to be fancy. They want to get complicated with it, right?
Yeah, they want it to be all nice and all these options. And I said, no, I want a person to be able to touch it. There's the closest open, and you can slide it for the next closest open. We have 10 of them. But the closest open facility, the telephone, the directions, and the website are right in front of you. You're on your way.
So now initially when you're putting this together, you obviously have to do all the research so that as much data, locations are in there as possible. How do you do that? Is it just painstakingly going through, you know, you start locally and just, you know, whatever you can, just get as much data in there as
Good
possible?
question. You know, we found out that I contacted every VMA with every state. All 50 states. They do not keep listings of emergency facilities except for New Jersey. New Jersey's very organized, very organized. You'd be surprised. Don't judge them by their exits.
Don't judge it by the Jersey Shore either, or Atlantic City.
Right, exactly.
So they have the regular vet places listed, but not the emergency places?
No, it's just not done. They just don't have listings that you can get from the VMA. Only one was New Jersey. So we had to go into the Google searching all across the country. And my computer man told me, hey, I'll do that. I said, okay. He has a cup of coffee, He has a nice table overlooking the lake. He's retired.
Oh, nice.
And 2 labs. So
And he actually finds that relaxing. He probably
he
loves
loves
doing
it. Those tech people, they love it. But he called me after the first day and said, you know, it took me 5 hours to do Connecticut. Because
Really?
we had to go through every zip code of every town across looking for vets.
Oh.
There's no listings anywhere.
Oh.
Yeah, you can Google and get them. But
yeah.
sometimes they pay money, so they pop up first. So it's a lot of work.
That's a good point, yeah.
So he called a data research company and said, what would it cost to pay you to do what I just did today for 5 hours? You know what they told him? $300,000. Because they said you're trying to find needles in haystacks. You're looking for emergency centers within the thousands and thousands and thousands.
Which aren't listed initially, right? The
No,
emergency
you have to,
places.
Right,
yeah.
you have to dig in and find them. Then it isn't like, give me the emergency list and they pop up. Doesn't work that way.
$300,000 that would have cost.
Right.
And you got a guy to sit out by a lake and put his feet up and have a cup of coffee.
Just
and,
send them those Dunkin' Donut cards every week. Keep them happy.
For some people, that's good payment. But you got it done.
Yeah, we got it done. Believe me, the stress has been unbelievable. I actually had precancerous cells from the stress. We got that taken care of. So it's been stressful because I want it done right. I don't want to start crying, but I cannot have a pet owner rely on me and push that button knowing that that's going to bring that pet in and save that pet's life.
Right.
If something goes wrong or we messed up and didn't have the right information, I'm going to have a lot of trouble living with myself. So.
So initially, you were just you and him were just getting the data in there, but at some point you also, like you said, sort of had to vet the vets in a way to make sure, you know, if they start calling you and they want to be a part of it, then you make sure they're reputable and.
Right,
and,
we go through the reviews,
right,
and you know it's tricky to read reviews.
Right, because some people that can be. You know, someone can write their own review if they wanted to and have a positive result.
Yeah, there's all different ways, and you can see 3 bad reviews, and then all of a sudden 3 good ones, and you realize they got a new vet.
Right, right.
Or the other way around.
Right.
You have all these really great reviews, and then all of a sudden they're bad reviews, and you say, what's going on here? And then I'll call. A lot of times when we called, you can just tell by the way the receptionist handles you on the phone what you're dealing with, because sometimes they're snippy. And you know, okay, we got bad reviews, we got a receptionist here who's not. We're going to put them off to the side, and if they want to apply with us later, that's up to them.
Right.
You know, we're not excluding anybody, but they have to apply. So we just, because there's plenty of them. There's 31,000 vets in the country.
Right. And they can't, so have they already started, obviously they've started reaching out to you and they want to be a part of it, right?
Not really, because we really haven't gone public yet. Most vets don't even know I exist yet.
Even though the app is available, you just haven't spread the word enough yet where they're getting.
Right, that's why we're just getting started with the radio show and with this TV show, and I've got some other things I'm doing. I've got Facebook boost posts that are going to be going out, so we're going to start get the word out, and hopefully it will catch fire, and people will tell people and tell their friends. Right.
A good time for us to take a break, and why don't you give out the website for PetVet24?
Yeah, PetVet24 website is PetVet24.org. That's PetVet24.org. And visit our Facebook site too. We have a Facebook PetVet24.
And to download the apps, you can either go to the App Store on iTunes or Google Play. And what do they search? Just PetVet24?
Yes, you go directly to Google. You put PetVet24 in Google search. You'll get that app. And if you go to iTunes, same thing. You just PetVet24. However, you can go to our website, PetVet24.org, and we have both Google and Apple links, which will send you directly to the store. Nice and simple. I made it nice and simple.
He's a simple man.
Simple man.
Jim LeBlanc, but he's also the creator of PetVet24, so we've got a lot more to get to. We'll take a short break and come right back. I'm Sean Murphy. This is For the Record. Stay right there. Welcome back to For the Record. I'm Sean Murphy. My guest is Jim LeBlanc, creator of PetVet24. It's an app that's available on iPhone, all iOS products really, and Android products. And speaking of which, it leads me to think of, because I hear stories, because you know the thing to do nowadays is create apps, maybe seek your fortune in that way. But what is the process like of creating an app, and also what is the process like of dealing with Apple? You know, because it has to go through their review process, and you know, and the Android side too.
Yes, it was a ship going into uncharted waters, no doubt. I was fortunate to find a company called MB3 in Granby, Connecticut. Aaron Conley and Kate Jones. Kate Jones is the CEO. They were wonderful people, and if anybody's interested in building an app or even doing website work, contact Aaron Conley and Kate Jones at MB3. They were fabulous. I basically contacted them and told them the basics of what I was trying to do. They meet with you. They listen to you. They go over everything you want the app to do, and then they technologically know how to do it. You can do just about anything you want.
They give you advice though, like
yeah, they gave me advice and different things.
Maybe you should try this, or maybe not use this, or whatever.
Right,
You know?
and I said, well, I'd like it to do this. I'm trying to simplify it. And
That's the key. You've been saying that the whole show. You want this as simple as possible.
Because I mean, I just want them to touch it and go. And we did have a couple things where they felt that the users could handle it. I didn't think the users could handle it, so we back and forth with it. And I said, well, I'd like to go with simple, and they. No problem.
It's your creation to begin with,
right.
and I can understand their point of view. If a person has a smartphone, not a cell phone like our director with his flip phone, but a smartphone that has apps. If they have that, they probably know how to use apps and maybe are a little technically knowledgeable, I guess, right?
Yes.
But you still are saying simple, simple, simple.
And that was because of the gentleman I met who had just gotten his smartphone. He was probably 68 years old, just got his smartphone, so he knows a little bit, but doesn't know a lot. And if he cares about his pet and he wants to have that app, right. I want it to be as simple as I can for him. I'm not worried about the savvy people. I didn't worry about them.
Right. Now, what if somebody's panicking? And I get it. Simple as possible. If someone's nervous, they're panicking. Oh my God, I got to save my cat, my dog.
Right.
You want that as simple as I want to be able to push a button. Okay, good. Oh, there's one town over. Boom, I'm gone.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly what I was shooting for. I can't make it any simpler than that. We also had it so that you could find the next 10 closest facilities too, because if you're a truck driver traveling 65 miles an hour north,
good point.
They may be showing the place that's 2 miles back here, and even though that's 10 miles away, going 65 miles, and it's like in school when you had that class. If a train leaves Chicago and a guy's walking his dog in Illinois, is there going to be that kind of thing? So yeah, we wanted so he could switch it, go to the next one, and then pop it and be on his way.
Excellent. And now, has the app evolved since it started out to what it is now?
Absolutely.
Is it always evolving?
Well, yeah, we have decided that this is such a great app, and it's so well built by MB3 in Granby. There's a plug for you there, right? Okay. That what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to diversify the usage of the app. The app is really an all-purpose app right now because we have a website link on the page, the display page. So when you touch the app, you get the closest open facility, but at the bottom, you'll see a website link, and when you touch that, it's going to go to our website, which is going to be a gateway of services and products for pets.
Okay.
Pet hotels, every state. Pet campgrounds, every state. We're going to have missing pet alert systems, every state. We're going to have all kinds of background things for people to go to find out anything they need pet related. And that's going to be fabulous. That's going to be a fabulous service. So if you want to put your vet's website on our website, we will do that for you, complimentary, no charge. So if you touch the icon, touch the website link, there's your vet. You can touch it and have your vet right on the, you're in Indiana. All of a sudden you have a problem. You want to show that vet that medical records right away. How do you do it? Touch, 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 portal, boom, there you go.
And again, just to emphasize, this is for anywhere in the country. Let's say you're in Rhode Island now, and maybe you've been using the app, and you see all the ones, maybe you've even memorized the ones that are close to you. Suddenly, boom, you take a trip to L.A. Because it works on the GPS of your phone, right?
Right.
So it's finding all the places out in L.A., wherever you are.
Wherever you are. And I try to explain to people, even if you live in a town and you're 3 towns over, and your dog's in the car and something happens where he starts vomiting blood, which we have had situations like this, you touch that app, it's going to give you the place in town that's 2 miles away.
Right.
Why travel 3 towns back 30 minutes to your regular vet when you've got someone 2 miles away? Phone, website, GPS, on your way.
And again, also, if it's 3 a.m. and you need that emergency place, even if it's a few more towns over, that's available to you right there too.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's always available, and that's our.
You're a llama. How often do you think your app would ever get used because the llama needed some kind of help? And could a vet even help, you know?
Well, that's an interesting question because the llama is considered a large animal.
It's like a goat, larger.
It's like a big goat.
Yeah.
And the llama is a large animal vet, which we have a list of large animal vets on our website.
Oh, okay.
And we also have a list of
horses and everything.
And horses, right? Because out west,
right,
they need that. So we're going to be asking those large animal vets to apply to be on our website and be on our app.
So this thing is growing. It's
Yeah,
growing.
we're working. It's a lot of work, and there's more to be done to build it right.
Will you leave the United States, maybe get into Canada or something like that, or are you in?
Well, I am French.
Okay.
So I've got an in there
Yeah.
already.
Are you? But how about Hawaii? Could someone be in Hawaii?
We've had Hawaii already.
okay.
Matter of fact, one of my first purchases was a friend of mine who lives in Hawaii.
Wow.
Yeah, she bought it, and she said it's great. It works great because I have friends all over the country. I wanted to have them buy it and tell me if it's working. Everybody says it's working great.
You know, when you're really successful is when you start having to do it like in another language, maybe Spanish or something like that.
Muy bien.
Yeah,
Muy
very,
bien.
very. So I want to get back to the process with the companies like Apple and Google.
Yeah.
So there's a review process. So once you submit your app, there's a little bit of time that goes by while they're reviewed because they have so many apps that are being submitted, right?
Exactly, yeah. MB3 did all the work, and they will do all the work.
They're familiar with this. Yeah.
Right, and it's quite complex. I got to be honest
But
with you.
you have to sit there and wait for it to
Yeah, you have to wait for it to come, and when it comes, I'm the one that goes on the store. I'm the one that had to set up the account on the store. So I had to learn all that. Going into the Apple store is like going into this building. Many rooms, many hallways, but you have to figure out how to get down these hallways by yourself because there's links and language, and you have to learn it. It took me 6 hours on the computer just to get promo codes that I could give to the public for free. 6 hours.
Now, cause I know what it's like. I'll tell you my quick app story. My radio station submitted to Apple our app so that you can listen to the radio station, all that stuff.
Okay.
Initially, the app was rejected because the person who did the app didn't spell iPhone with small I, capital Phone. They did it like all uppercase. Apple rejected the app until we changed the lettering to the way that they spell it, you know, capitalization.
It's
uppercase.
interesting what I've learned because Android versus Apple is night and day. Android's good, but Apple is very, very, very stringent on their requirements.
Which means that the apps are all going to, mostly run flawlessly. You won't have as many. Android is good, but it's like sort of like the Wild West. Like anybody and everybody can submit an app.
Yes,
There's
exactly.
not exactly the same kind of review process, I would imagine.
Right, and my builder, I noticed, went with Apple first because once it's approved with Apple, he knows he's not going to have a problem with Android.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But if you do those two systems, iOS and Android, you're covering about 96% of people with smartphones.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the numbers.
You're in the 90s, so you're almost everybody who has a smartphone is using one of those. You know, you got a few Windows, maybe someone hanging on to dear life with BlackBerry, but those two that you have your app, PetVet24 on right now, you're covering almost everybody.
You're right. The large percentage of people having Android and Apple, iOS, that's definitely the way to go that everybody has. So we stayed in that. We've talked about expanding, which maybe we will. You can get apps where you can sell other apps. But now we're getting complicated. I don't want it to.
And you want to be simple. Jim LeBlanc wants to be simple with his PetVet24 app. Tell him how to get the app again. iPhone or Android, either one.
Yes, if you have an Android, which means Samsung or that kind of a device, you go to Google Store, Google Play, and you put in PetVet24, and that will bring you right to the store shelf. Or you can go to the website, which I highly recommend. It's simple, PetVet24.org. Pop it in. You'll have the Google and the Apple. We made them nice and big because my eyes are going. And you just pop that. It'll take you right to the Google store or right to the Apple store. It's very simple.
If you love pets, and Jim does, then he's always welcome on our show. The creator, the inventor of PetVet24, the animal hospital locator. Thank you for being on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate being here.
And good luck, my friend.
Yes.
That's our show for today. You can see this show and many others on our YouTube site. Until next time, I'm Sean Murphy. This is For the Record. Take care.